What's going on, guys? William James here, and in this video I really want to talk about the main 4 reasons people aren't buying your offer. So before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, again, my name is William James. I do videos for affiliate marketers, network marketers, course creators, coaches, consultants, people who are growing home businesses online using Facebook in particular. I specialize in free organic Facebook marketing strategies. I have a whole group on Facebook where I teach the ins and outs of the Facebook algorithm and how to master it to get super high engagement, traffic, leads, and sales on Facebook without paid ads. So if you're not already in that group, check it out. There'll be a link below this video where you can join the group. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and please subscribe to the channel. So with that said, guys, let's dive right in. The main 4 reasons people are not buying your offer. Okay, so I deal with a lot of people in my business who are kind of looking for help with this problem. And before I get into the 4 main reasons why people are seeing your offer and saying no, I just want to address the kind of elephant in the room with all this, which is that honestly 95% of the people out there are just not contacting enough people. And that's really the main issue with most marketers, is that they're just, you get talking to people and you just realize that they're really not doing anything to contact new people. Now, you can contact new people with paid advertising if you really want to and you have the money for that. That's kind of like outsourcing your contacting, where you just buy traffic, right? Or you can contact people for free, like using Facebook or something like that, which is what I do. Okay, and typically, I think that most people just kind of fall between 2 stools, and they decide that they don't have the money to do, paid ads. They're going to focus on Facebook, but then they just kind of like don't do anything, and they don't reach out to enough people. And that's always, it's like you talk to more people is always the first thing that I would recommend. Okay, but given that you actually have eyeballs on your offer, which again, most people don't, but if you do, if you're getting eyeballs on your offer, there's really kind of 4 main reasons why people decide to say no instead of yes. Okay, so I want to break down each of the 4 reasons and kind of talk about them. So the first one is maybe a little bit obvious, but the first problem is your targeting is off. So there isn't a message market match. It's really important that you are getting your offer in front of the right person, right? And this is the challenge of marketing, right? This is the challenge of advertising, is targeting. It's like, how do I find the exact sort of person that is most likely to want my offer? And a lot of the time, your targeting is just going to be off. If you're doing it, no matter how you're doing it. I mean, even people who are master Facebook ads targeters, there's still, it's like going to be a fairly low percentage of people who end up buying, right? So if you're doing this organically, it's just really important that you have a very clear idea, when you're going out on Facebook, of what the problem is that your offer solves and who the people are that have that problem, and get good at finding those people and spotting where they are, where they hang out, what they look like, so that the people that you're connecting with are actually the right people for your offer, right? So for me, like, I'm looking to help people who are struggling affiliate marketers on Facebook, and it's fairly easy for me to go out and find those people because they're on Facebook. I can go into affiliate marketing groups, pages, so forth. These people are pretty much just right there, and I can look at their profile and I can see whether or not they need help with Facebook strategies, because I can look at their engagement, I can look at their posts, and I can pretty much just tell right away whether this is someone who could use what I have to offer, right? And so that's kind of how I go about it. Now, obviously, if you're kind of targeting a different type of person, you would need to figure out, okay, what's the sort of person that I'm looking for, and how do I get good at finding them quickly and easily? Okay, so getting the right eyeballs on your offer is the first step, and that's the first reason why people aren't buying, is you're showing your offer to someone who's not really interested in that sort of thing, right? And obviously it gets fairly specific as you kind of niche down, like, okay, maybe the person's generally into marketing, but maybe they're like into cryptocurrencies or something, and I'm trying to, sell them CBD oil, and that there's just not going to be a match there, right? So, not that I do not sell CBD oil, but my point is, there's different sub niches within the industry, and if you're sort of mismatched, sometimes people are just not going to be interested in your offer because it's just a completely different area than what they're into. So that's the first reason. So the second reason, which one was number 2? Hang on. The second reason is your offer is not irresistible. Okay. Now this comes down to this question of like, what do people really want? And when they're watching you should be using a video presentation, right? If you're trying to explain everything to them yourself every single time you present your offer, then that's crazy. You need to have a good video presentation that presents your offer to people. And as the person is watching your presentation, they're making a decision about whether they want to do this or not. And the job of the presentation is to make an irresistible offer. Now, if you're designing the presentation, which I would recommend, you need to be thinking about, okay, like, what is it that my ideal customer wants, and what is it that I can do to make this offer irresistible? And typically what makes an offer irresistible is that it addresses the key questions in the person's mind. And the main question that they're asking is this something that I can be successful with? Is this thing, this offer that's being offered to me, is this really the thing that's going to take me from where I am now to where I want to be? You see, they're in a state of pain. They want to get to a state of pleasure, or an ideal state. The state where they, are making $10,000 a month, or where they have six-pack abs, or they're in a great relationship with a beautiful woman, or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's a state that they want to get to, that they're looking for a vehicle to get them there. And what they're asking is, in their mind, as they're watching your presentation, what they're asking is, does this seem like the thing that can get me there? Okay. So when you're creating your presentation, you got to be thinking about, what can I do to show the person that this is the thing that's going to get them there? And a lot of the time, in my last YouTube video, I spoke about this. A lot of the time with like opportunity type offers, which I know a lot of you guys are in, the question is, what is different about this from all the other things I've tried? And it really kind of applies to anything, because if this person is serious about reaching a particular goal, this is probably not the first sales video they've watched, right? They've probably bought multiple different offers that promise to get them to that goal, and they probably haven't worked, right? And so your presentation has to be showing them why this offer is different from all the other ones that they've already tried and didn't work. Because in their mind, they're going, yeah, I've already tried this, I've already tried that, I've already tried this, nothing seems to work. So what's going to be different about this? Okay, so your presentation, first and foremost, needs to be highlighting what's different about this from other things that's going to make it more likely to actually get the person to their goal, right? So a lot of the time, you might be calling out the failures of your competitors. So for instance, if you're in like the diet niche or whatever, or the fitness niche, you might be saying, oh yeah, you've tried cutting calories, and you've tried low fat, and you've tried low carb, and nothing works, and you've tried intermittent fasting, and all those approaches are wrong, and here's why my approach is different and right, and these are the results it's going to get you, right? So that brings me to the second point, which is, what are the results? Like, is there any proof that you can give that what you're doing is going to work for them? Is there any proof, right? Like, if you're presenting an opportunity here, you better have testimonials of people who have made money with it that are pretty darn good, and lead with those, right? There's so many like opportunity presentations that are just sort of, corny, generic videos that sort of talk about, oh, our products have wonderful benefits, and this is our CEO, and this is like all this stuff that is not actually addressing the questions that the prospect is having, which is, why should I believe this will work for me? That's what they're wondering. Okay. And one of the big kind of trump cards you can play, the big, like if their decision is on a seesaw kind of thing, they're on the fence. A big weight that you can put on the side of you should buy this is support. So if you can offer some type of one-on-one support, a coaching group, a group support, whatever it is, any type of help, because what people who, no matter what their goal is, people have a goal, they're trying to get there. What they're really looking for most is help, right? That's why they're looking at your presentation. And if you can offer them individualized, personalized help, that's like the biggest thing that is going to tip the balance for people, because they need to know that like they're not going to just buy the thing from you and it's not going to work and that'll be that and it'll be gone. You'll be gone. They can't reach you, right? They want to know that there's going to be a human being who can actually pay attention to them and give them help when they need it, right? That's huge for people psychologically. Yeah. So again, second reason, guys, is the offer probably isn't irresistible. So to make an irresistible offer, it's got to be unique. You've got to have, clear results that this product can get you, with proof that it can get you there. And you've got to have some type of support, one-on-one, group, whatever it is, to get the person there. And then the offer will become more irresistible. Okay. So the third reason why people are not buying your offer is that you may have screwed up the way that you communicated with them and presented the offer. Okay, so I'm not necessarily talking about the video, because as I said, that should be a pre-recorded video. But like, how did you get them to watch the video, and did you make sure that they're in the right frame of mind before they watched the video? Right, because there's a very big difference between sending someone to a video who is excited about the offer and just sending out a link and the person has no idea what they're looking at, right? I mean, one of the biggest mistakes that people just continuously make in this industry is just cold messaging people with a sales pitch and a link. And it's like, you have no idea that this person is not going to be interested, right? You haven't done anything to get them interested, and you have no idea if they are interested. So even if they do click the link, it's just going to be out of sort of like, oh, what is this? Click, let's see, they're going to watch 2 seconds of it and they're going to turn it off, right? So it's your job to psychologically pre-frame the person to be open to what you're sending them, right? I mean, this is like almost like basic 101 social skills. Like if I want to send a link to an interesting article to my friend and I really want them to read it, totally outside of business, I'm not going to just be like, read this, boom, right? I'm going to kind of say something about it to get them interested, see if they're open to it, and then I'll send the article. And the same thing works on, with Facebook, with business. People are people, okay? You need to be connecting with people, finding out if, I call this qualifying people, okay? Finding out if they have any sort of interest in what you're doing, right? Are they into CBD oil or are they into cryptocurrencies? Like what's the match here? So you doing your work of making sure that the person is targeted and then saying something to get them curious or interested, so that when they click the link, they actually are in a curious, interested open-minded frame of mind when they're looking at the presentation. They're actually looking at it instead of just watching the first 3 seconds and then turning it off. Right. So getting good at the communication cycle of how do you go from hello to sending the link, that's a big part of it. Right. I've done numerous videos on how to do this. If you want the real breakdown of that, go back through my YouTube channel. There's a bunch. I talk about this all the time. There's 7 steps for how to do this, but there's 7 steps for selling, but there's contact, communicate, qualify, invite, are the first 4 steps of the 7 steps. And you need to be getting good at doing that, okay? And you can't invite until you have qualified, and you can't qualify until you've communicated, and you can't communicate until you've contacted. So a lot of this does come down to contacting more people, but you got to contact people. Then you have to see if they're open to communicating, which is hello, tell me about yourself. And if they are willing to tell you about themselves, then you can qualify them. And qualifying them is basically asking them some type of a question that will determine whether or not they have any interest in your offer. This can turn into a kind of elevator pitch for your offer where you tell them the main benefits of it. And if they seem interested, then you invite them to look at your presentation. If they say yes, you send them the link, okay? So getting good at that is a big issue. Okay, the last piece of it, guys, is simply they don't trust you. That's the fourth reason why they're not buying from you. And I think it's the most significant of them. Because even if you're doing everything else right, if they don't trust you, you're going to find that your conversion rate is just very low. If you're just reaching out to cold people, they have no idea who you are. Even if you're doing all the other things correctly, you've got a great offer, the targeting is great, sales presentation's great, you're saying all the right things. If they don't know who you are, you're going to get a super low conversion rate. You could set up, you can automate all this stuff, guys, right? You could set up a sales funnel that kind of automates all of this, and you could run really great quality targeted traffic to it. But what you're going to find is that all these people are strangers coming through your funnel, and there's a great presentation, and it's super targeted in there. It's just the right fit for them, but they don't know who you are. And that aspect is going to make the conversion rate 1% or something. Whereas if you're reaching out to people who are, a part of your warm market, people who know, like, and trust you, your conversion rate could be, 20% or something on the same offer. It makes a huge difference. So how do you get people to know, like, and trust you? Well, that's a whole big topic. I'm actually finishing up creating a course about that right now, which should be out very soon. Okay. The way that I do it is through my Facebook group and through content. So I'm building a Facebook group. I'm building an audience of subscribers, fans, followers, whatever you want to call it. People in my Facebook group, people on my email list, people who subscribe to my YouTube channel. Right? These are people who are interested in consuming content that I create. And if they've spent long enough listening to me talk, they're going to start to know, like, and trust me. Which means that when I present offers to them, the likelihood of them buying is way, way, way higher than if I hadn't done all the work to build that group of people up. Okay, so there's two main issues that marketers run into when they're trying to do this and they're just not getting anywhere. The first, as I said, is they're just not contacting anyone. Or not nearly enough people. The second is that if they are contacting people, they're just cold pitching people who don't know, like, and trust them, instead of building an audience of followers. So I spend most of my energy on bringing people into my world and getting them to know, like, and trust me by plugging them into my content. Okay. I spend most of my energy on that and only 10% of my energy on actually, like, making offers to people. Okay, because I know how important that is. So those are the two kind of biggest problems I think people have, is they're not contacting enough people, and they're not actually doing the work to build an audience. Okay. So focus on those two things and keep these 4 reasons why people aren't buying in mind. So as you're kind of creating your offer and you're doing your marketing, be like, okay, like, am I targeting the right people? That's number 1. Is my offer irresistible to those people? Is it unique? Is it different? Is it offering one-on-one support? Are there testimonials? Is there proof that this is going to work for people? Third thing is, am I presenting it well? Have I figured out a good way to frame it and connect with the people before I send them the link so that they actually are interested? Again, if you don't know how to do that, go watch my other videos. And number 4, am I talking to people who know, like, and trust me? Okay. So if you can dial that stuff in, this will all become a lot easier, and you'll start to see actual conversions. Like you'll start to see, oh my God, all of a sudden people are buying my offer instead of just me sending my link out into the ether and nothing happening, right? So hope that made sense, guys. Hope you got value from this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.